Za tiste, ki ne poznate Michaela Matta in njegovega časopisa Remnant katoliške cerkve, ki se zavzema vsa ta desetletja za tradicionalno latinsko mašo in da se ne uničuje katoliška cerkev in katoliška vera, sploh zdaj strani Bergoglija, lažnega preroka, proti katerim se moramo mi absolutno postaviti po konci in tudi vsem, ki so z njim, ker vemo, da so nam tudi škofi nedolgo nazaj v svojem dopisu, pol so se razpadli, so se verjetno ustrašili, hoteli pri svetih latinskih mašah prepovedati obhajanje svete hostije, ker smo seveda mi obhajani samo na jezik ali na usta. Torej, podnapisi bodo v slovenščini, drugače si jih lahko nastavite, bom enkrat tam pokazal, če greste pod napise in pol, bom probal pokazati. Greste tukaj na podnapisi, če lahko vidite, se bo dalo, podnapisi in pol tukaj pod nastavitve in tu je angleščina, slovenščina, dobro, vi boste šli tukaj, samodejni prevod. Greste na samodejni prevod in z kurzorjem skoraj do konca v slovenščino, kliknete slovenščino in imate vse prevode zdaj v slovenščini. Za začetek bom pa vse to spustil, pa mogoče kdaj povedal, da boste lahko pol videli vse, o čem se govori v slovenščini.
To give this guy a free pass, because he does not deserve one. He is not your friend. In fact, I would say that
slovaščina.
Charles and Pope Francis.
Dobre, slovaščina, torej sem že narobe kriknil, gremo še enkrat nazaj, na samodejni prevod in v slovenščina, ne slovaščina. Dobro, ok, zdaj pa bo.
Respectively, were the temporal and spiritual rulers who locked us all down. That's what they did. That's what Charles did. Remember this?
Today, we are all keen to hear from His Royal Highness his vision for a more cohesive and sustainable world.
And global crises like pandemics and climate change know no borders and highlight just how interdependent we are as one people sharing one planet. I've been encouraged to see the growing calls for a green recovery. We need only look to the United Nations Secretary General, to the IMF, the EU, the Petersburg Climate Dialogue, the Canadian government, the COP26 Universities Network, and business leaders around the world to see this. And as we move from rescue to recovery, therefore, we have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves on a more sustainable path.
Klaus Schwab, well, he already has a pope, and now he's got a king in his pocket, so be careful.
The interdependence between human health and planetary health has never been more clear. As we start a new decade, it is time to focus on the future we wish to build. To that end, building on my Sustainable Markets initiative, I am launching the Terra Carta as the basis of a recovery plan for nature, people, and planet. More than 800 years ago, the Magna Carta inspired a belief in the fundamental rights and liberties of people. As we strive to imagine the next 800 years of human progress, the fundamental rights and value of nature lie at the heart of the Terra Carta. I am calling on CEOs from around the world to engage and play their part in leading the global transition. To guarantee our future, we have no other choice
protect us all from the king of the New World Order. Speaking of the Great Reset, well, let's get into this a little bit, because this is serious. Pope Francis, I'm going to just set this up a little bit. I want to talk about Bishop Schneider. And I want to talk about what it actually means when we say go underground, keep the faith, never surrender in the church, and how that it can be reconciled with authority and what we're all trying to do here. So Pope Francis, he's whipping around Kazakhstan this past week in his Prius, right? Well, he was driving his Prius so everybody can see the Prius, and he takes his Prius, and as you'll see on your screen, he drives it up to his jumbo jet. And he takes off. So apparently he drives the Prius to show how green he is, right? And then he, hops out of the Prius, gets onto the jet airplane to show how meaningless the Prius is. And that's just the way things go now. Stupid on steroids. But there you have it. And it's so rude. It really is rude. When you think about this guy, he's so sick. He's in a wheelchair. Do you know what it's like? My father was more or less handicapped at the end. Getting him in and out, we actually got an SUV so that we could more easily transfer him, because he was getting old. I can't even imagine sticking my father in the back of a Prius. So why Francis is insisting on doing this to his people, I have no idea. But everything's a show with this guy. Anyway, he was in Kazakhstan for what they call the 7th Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions. You've all seen this before. You know what it was. We don't have to quote it too much. I'm sure you were all glued to your TV set anyway to watch that World Summit of the World's Religions, right?
Ma nel migliore dei casi un credente tiepido.
Pope Francis' message today to the religious leaders was that the religion is not a problem, but actually a part of the solution. He also said that to combat the world's crisis, we must care. He stressed that as long as inequality and injustice continue to proliferate, there will be no end to viruses, even worse than COVID-19. He said that God is peace. He said that every human being is sacred, but each day children, born and unborn, migrants and elderly are cast aside, and this is because of indifference.
Yeah, really, really exciting stuff. Francis is doing it again. Isn't that exciting? Wow, boy, that's really something. Pop the corn, kids. Francis is doing a cool show again over there in Kazakhstan. So stupid, right? And this building? What is this building? What is this? It looks like something out of Star Trek. And so under the pyramid of power, Francis urges the world religions to involve women and young people in the quest for peace. Hang on a second. Stop the tape. Back that up for a second, Walter. Take that back a bit. I want to see that again. Oh, really? Really, isn't that interesting? So it's okay for Francis to kiss the Orthodox guy's holy stuff, right? But it's not okay for us to kiss Francis's holy thing, namely Peter's ring. What the heck? What? Here's Francis kissing the thing. That's fine, Francis, as long as it's another religion. That's great. It's so anti-Catholic, this guy. But anyway, in case you missed it, Francis was over there then at the meeting under the pyramid of power, defending everyone's right to religion, everyone's right to heaven, because every human being, if they are in contact with the divine, can radiate a special light in our world, says Francis. I don't know, Tess, are you radiating a special light in our world? Because I know I am.
Anything? It doesn't mean anything.
No, now it means nothing at all. The more meaningless, the better, because then people will go, wow, man, that must be so deep. I don't even get it. That's awesome.
It's not a real thing, but keep trying.
Keep talking. You know, I was watching Francis's Twitter feed all during this visit to Kazakhstan, and it was pretty funny. I don't know. It was like reading the text messages of a pothead powering through a bag of fortune cookies. It was so bad. And I don't think Francis is writing this stuff, so I don't even care if that sounds irreverent or whatever. I don't know who the little 23-year-old metrosexual it is that's writing Francis's Twitter feed. But this was particularly bad this time. May we realize that only together in dialogue and mutual acceptance can we truly achieve something good for the benefit of all. Confucius say, person who runs in front of car gets tired. Person who runs behind car gets exhausted. Network TV nobody covers it, nobody cares. Other than the one thing that happened that really is important to talk about, and I want to close out tonight's show with this. Bishop Athanasius Schneider, who made headlines worldwide by warning the world that the Pope's event could give what he calls the dangerous impression that the Catholic Church is part of a supermarket of religions rather than the one true religion. Now, I want you to follow this. This is extremely important. I want you to remember, this is an auxiliary bishop from Kazakhstan. All eyes are on him. The world press is on him. Everybody's looking at him. The Pope's coming to town. And Bishop Schneider says that the 7th Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions could, quote, undermine the uniqueness of the absoluteness of Jesus Christ as Savior and our mission to preach Jesus Christ to all nations, to all religions. This is Schneider. And that's exactly what happened. We didn't hear much about Jesus Christ. We just heard about all religions going to the happy place, together, united, and radiating light. But Schneider's the standout here. Referring, I think now, directly to the World Economic Forum, Bishop Schneider adds that such global events now that Pope Francis was leading could be, quote, used by the political elites for their purposes, because such events signal that Catholicism is one faith among others with equal legitimacy. This is not correct, says Bishop Athanasius Schneider, because there is only one true religion, which is the Catholic Church founded by God himself, but commanded to all man, to all religions, to believe and accept his Son, Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world. Do you realize what he just said? One bishop standing against the entire world with the Pope at the top, saying, no, Jesus Christ is the only Savior of the world. Now, we're going to talk about the ramifications of this, but I want that to sink in all by himself. One man against the world, a lonely voice of one bishop speaking out for Christ. And he does it with a smile. Have you noticed this? I know this man. I've met this man. I've interviewed him many times. And I'm telling you, I've never come away from a meeting with Bishop Schneider without thinking I probably was just in the presence of a saint. And I do not say that of many people. So he does all this with a smile.